Yeah.
Hey, Mark?
Yeah.
Okay, just saying.
Right,
So
well, we already
figuring
had
out-
it.
I'll look up the program that I
Yeah.
saw.
No, no.
Yeah, maybe.
All right, we got the recording going?
I'm doing it right now.
Okay, I won't start my spiel, because
We
I
are
usually have to
recording.
say it twice.
Yes, we are on the recording.
3 years and 9 months, and I'm finally figuring out how to do this.
Oh, really? Oh, my gosh.
All right, we ready?
We're ready.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Calling tonight's Borough Council meeting to order. Please read the sunshine notice.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of the 2022 meeting dates was published in the Courier News and Bernardsville News on December 9th, 2021, and posted at the Municipal Complex in the Borough Library. Action may be taken.
Okay, thank you. Please stand for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just to let you know that Mr. Rubenstein is on, who is sitting in for John tonight. He is on the go-to meeting.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, welcome. Roll call, please.
Councilman Chiaminetti.
Here.
Council President Corliano.
Here.
Councilwoman Dietrich. Here. Councilman Lemma.
Here.
Councilwoman Murphy.
Here.
Mayor Skinner.
I'm here. Okay, we have our proclamation. You know, I think I'm going to read it. It's pretty special. So, Matheny's celebrating their 75th anniversary Thursday. I think we were all invited, but I know some of us are going. I am. They're having a celebration Thursday night up at Matheny. So I decided we should do a proclamation. So, whereas Walter and Marguerite Matheny had a son, Chuck, who was born with cerebral palsy during a time when there were no specialist facilities to help children with special needs, and whereas in 1946, starting with a $3,000 operating budget, the Matheny started the Matheny School with only 3 students and was the beginning of a commitment to assist families who had children with physical disabilities. And whereas on March 14th, 1954, there was a groundbreaking ceremony on the hill at the end of Highland Avenue in Peapack to allow for additional space for the increased enrollment and much needed staff to assist with special education, academics, speech therapy, and recreation. And whereas in the 1970s, Matheny was approved as a special hospital by the New Jersey State Department of Health due to their efforts in meeting the needs of special children who attend the school, and whereas today Matheny has a world-renowned reputation as a sophisticated medical and educational facility which serves infants, children, and adults who have complex medical conditions and developmental disabilities who come from across the state and country. Now therefore be it resolved that the Borough of Peapack and Gladstone Council, on behalf of Peapack and Gladstone residents, does hereby declare our congratulations to the Matheny Medical and Education Center for celebrating their 75th anniversary, and be it further resolved that the Mayor and Council recognize the Matheny Medical and Educational Center for the outstanding care and support provided to the patients, students, and families of the Matheny community for the last 75 years. So I'd like concurrence to sign this,
Concur.
and I will present this to Matheny on Thursday. Thank you.
Very nice.
Public comments, 5 minutes per person, non-agenda items. It's the policy of the Borough Council that all public comments on an issue shall be limited to 5 minutes per person. Comments may be made on any non-agenda subject pertaining to borough issues. Comments pertaining to public hearings should be saved for that section of the agenda. There'll be no debating between residents. Comments should be addressed to the mayor and council at the public microphone, or if anybody is online through whatever device you're on. And we do need your name and address. Members of the public. Sure.
Good evening, my name is Christopher Downing. I want to just bring up two different issues. The first issue is the resurfacing of the roads. Main Street is already very unsafe because there's no shoulder for bicycle riding. The new surfacing is a drop off of like an inch, and it makes you then be more in the middle of the road, so it's just less safe. And also, as you notice, all of the crosswalks aren't repainted yet. And I've seen a couple different times where people who are used to walking at certain places start to walk, and there's just not that same response without the crosswalk.
So one, that's a county project. A county
I understand.
DPW, and Brad, correct me if I'm wrong. The county will be coming to do the better striping. That's just temporary
Okay, I
striping, and
understand.
crosswalks, shoulder, the fog lines, shoulders.
But it's those dips in the
Right.
manhole covers and the and the stormwater drains, which really, it's like going through a pothole and you want to avoid it, and just bring it up. Second issue is about Red Horse Motoring Club. They held an event, and I don't really know if they got a permit with you guys to have an event. They did get a use variance to have a private club there. They're only allowed to have events for members, and as far as I know, there's no members. I mean, they're going to be allowed some type of things when they try to get a membership thing, but again, it's going to have to be, they have a liquor license. Liquor was used in places which were not approved by the land use board when they agreed to what their use would be permitted. And I looked at the ABC handbook for municipal governing bodies, and if they're going to de-license a part of the premises, they need to come before you guys for a hearing for that. And so really, I don't think they have a liquor license. I don't know if a special license was given, but they have a retail consumption license. But it's not permitted to be open to the public. They're not a bar or restaurant. They are not to use the municipal parking lot or the streets or the parking lot across the street. All three were used for that event. So my two concerns are both the parking, which goes against the condition, one of the conditions that was given for the use variance, and the second is that I don't believe they've come before you to de-license part of their premises, which is required. And if you want a cite on the handbook, I give it to you, but I don't see your.
We'll have our
attorney
zoning
here.
officer look into it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so those are my two comments, so.
Can you let Sarah Jane know? Just
But the parking is really a big thing. They would not have gotten
Liquor
approval
license I would look into.
Right.
if they
So I'll
they
take
were.
care of that.
So they didn't get approval for street parking out there. I knew they couldn't use the lot, and they were supposed to use the bank parking lot.
They're
for-
supposed to use the bank parking lot. They have to tell all employees, members, and guests that they are not to use the parking lot or the streets. They are to use either the 18 parking spaces on the premises, or they're to use, they said they're gonna use Malillo's, the bank,
Sure.
Peapack Bank parking lot. But they also have to show that they have a signed agreement to use that, and that was not presented at that time. So it's a condition that still has to be met. And the other.
Do we know for a fact, just benefit of the doubt, that this event was Red Horse? Because they haven't even filed an application.
If you go on Red Horse Motoring Club, their website,
Right.
okay, and 2 or 3 places, they show pictures. They had a poster on the thing that said it was
Okay,
event.
so it was
They
clearly
had,
their event. Okay,
it was their event,
Just
okay?
Just checking,
yeah.
because I know
Yep.
Rob Francis had events in his.
It was
space there.
and the other thing is the alcohol was also in Rob Francis's part, and that is, again, a not permitted area for the alcohol. There was also outdoor areas that they weren't supposed to have alcohol, they had alcohol. And so it's just,
because it's a liquor license.
right,
our-
and so
our
that,
administrator will
and so there, I'm gonna
support
say,
it.
and you'll have to have a public hearing, and at that time I will make sure that
Okay,
those things are there.
all right,
Okay,
thank you.
that's all, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Chris.
No, did you?
Oh, I was just wondering, do they have any other events on their website coming up?
No,
Okay,
yeah, but yeah,
yeah, okay.
Okay,
okay.
thank you. Anybody else? Non-agenda items? Okay, seeing none, closing the non-agenda item, public comment, moving on to old business.
Just a quick update on the park. So, as everybody has seen, they being V&K, has been really diligently out there working with crews. The park is essentially finished at this point. So we're going to have, within the next 2 or 3 weeks, a meeting with the landscape architect for a substantial completion inspection. And at that point in time, we will make a determination if they meet the contract specifications. And we'll also look at some options for maintenance that Nancy's aware of as well.
Okay, great. Nice to see it finally coming. I guess we started a year ago, right? Because it was after all the things in the park in October.
Correct. The spring planting
Right.
started in March, April, so 6 months.
Right. Any other old business? Any new business?
I have one thing there.
Okay. Shoot.
I don't know who else saw it, but A few days ago, we received an email from the New Jersey Council of Mayors, I know you saw it, Mayor.
On healthcare?
New Jersey Conference of Mayors regarding healthcare. And what happened is the governor or the state limited the cost of healthcare increases for state workers to 3%, but we're hearing that the healthcare costs for the municipality and our employees will increase up to 23%. And they sent out a form letter that they're asking be sent, it wasn't very clear in their documentation, be sent to the governor compelling him to treat the municipal governments similar to the state government. I did not get this to Nancy for a resolution because I only read this a few hours ago, so I figured I'd just bring that up here. But I would propose a resolution to send a letter to Governor Murphy's office using the form letter that was provided, compelling the government to take action on this incredible increase in cost in the state health benefit programs.
I think it's ridiculous that the municipalities and counties and everybody besides the state who uses state health benefits did not have a seat at the table for negotiations.
That's
Since
correct.
I think there's probably more municipal and county workers than there are state workers on the state health benefits.
Yeah, and it affects both our employees and our taxpayers.
The administrator for the county, for Somerset County, is setting up, Colleen Moore is setting up a meeting with the Skylands Joint Insurance Fund for any towns that would like to talk to them regarding changing their health benefits. She hasn't set the exact date yet, but I am going to participate in that meeting with the other administrators of anybody that's interested in changing that, to see if we possibly can get a lower rate but keep the same benefit options that we have now for the employees.
Yeah, the idea is to expand the pool of options, so we're working on it actively behind the scenes.
In your other life too, right?
There's a groundswell of
Oh,
options.
Does
sure.
you don't have to, I know I brought this last minute and I did not get this on the agenda because I only read the email a few hours ago, but I do have a motion to send this.
Yes,
send a letter.
I'll sign it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do-
I'll get the letter.
second?
I'll find.
I'll second.
All right, you wanna do it all in favor?
Do we need concurrence, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
concurrence.
Concur, yeah.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Do you have the
Sounds like
form
we
letter,
have
Nancy?
it.
Yes, I do have that form letter. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll sign it.
Okay.
I mean, just let
I'll
me
put
know.
it together and
Yep.
I'll let you know when it's ready to be signed.
Okay. Anything else for new business?
Yes, I circulated some content to the council earlier about some signage for Liberty Park as recommended by the Historic Preservation Commission. The idea is to put in signage that talks about the history of the park. In this particular case, it's the origination of one of the original designs. It's not the design that ended up being the park, but it does provide a background on the history of this design and then weaves into some of the people who were responsible for the origination of the park. So I sent that to council just to get some feedback for tonight. And some of the feedback I heard is that the content could be good. Maybe the sign, which would cost about $4,000, is something that we should discuss as maybe an alternative. Could be use of the kiosks, which are at both ends of the park. That could provide us with more flexibility of putting the content in there, changing the content if we want to at some point, making some additions to the content if there are other angles of history of the park that we want to include. So it seems to me that that provides a lot more flexibility than one sign for $4,000, but wanted to bring it to everyone's attention, see what your thoughts are.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. There's very little historic, no historic markers other than the memorials in the park.
Right.
And I like your idea of initially the kiosks, because we could always change it later and say, hey, this is such a warm reception, let's put it in front of the scout cabin, the main entrance, the rear.
Right.
It also protects the signs against the elements in a way that I think would be better going forward. And the image is wonderful, but it's just whet my appetite for more images like that. So I was thinking maybe 3, 4, 5, something like that, to show the park in various stages
Right.
through the last century, how it was used. It was a swimming hole at one time and these types of things. I think it's highly interesting and I would support that.
And the purpose behind the park was to honor the
Yep.
veterans of World War I, and
Yep.
so I think, put that in there just so people know it's
Yeah.
Liberty Park for a
Absolutely.
reason, so.
Right.
Absolutely.
So this write-up was done by Barry Thompson, and it was admittedly, a first draft, just putting something out there for us to consider. I think we have a lot of other historic content. I'm looking at data that we could consider how to put together some other angles of history. The sign, the weathering of the sign. In an ideal world of money, we would love to have a sign which is like the one at Natterer, where you're looking at the estate house and it has that history, and it's a very well protected item, but that's the cost. And so I think the kiosk also protects, and that would probably work well.
I like the kiosk
Yeah.
idea, Amy.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
so do
do
I.
too.
Because you're gonna be drawn to the kiosk, so, we put more signs in,
So
we already have to put that Green Acres sign in, so, somewhere in the park,
We
hopefully
do.
not that banner sign, but
Yeah.
something smaller, but, yeah, I think if it's in the kiosk, it sort of keeps, we don't want sign pollution in the park.
Right.
Right.
And Don, maybe you know this, is the kiosk lit? Is there a light
There's
inside?
not
No
electricity
no
on the
electric
kiosks.
service to the kiosk.
It'd be nice if there were like a little spotlight in there to,
So we can't do it now, so we
Okay.
have to disturb the site. If you wanted some illumination, what I would suggest is either, I'm not saying to put this here, just in logical places. One, you could put it by the main entrance, because that's all lit up.
yeah,
You could put it by the dock, what we call the dock, that long bench, because there's lights under the dock.
right.
Or you can put it in proximity to one of the trees in the rear that has the lights in the tree. And then the fourth option is by the scout cabin. And for the scout cabin, it probably would be rather easy to put a spotlight that would come down on the sign.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, I guess the idea was to utilize the current kiosks which are at the ends of the park, so.
We'd have to rip up the,
But
We
since
could
the
put-
park
we
is
could put in a
kind of,
solar powered fixture.
I know, I was
gonna
wondering
say,
if you
we-
could do
can
like
we
an
put a
over the
solar
arc,
power
like
light?
lights.
yeah, that's
With a
actually
solar.
that's not a bad
Put a
idea.
solar
Yeah.
powered fixture in that would store enough to get you through the
Not a
night and
bad idea.
recharge.
Yeah.
but what time is the park closed now? Don't we
9
have?
p.m.
9 p.m., so,
True. Well,
Yeah.
it's just a feature
Yeah.
to add to it, and I know the kiosks were recently painted.
Yes, and new roof as well.
Yeah, they look nice.
They
Yeah.
do look nice.
So with council's consent, I'll take this back to historic and we'll
move forward, yeah.
Yeah.
think
Perfect.
about
Yep.
looking
Yep.
forward for that. Okay.
I think we
Thank you.
should put some more options together, and I don't see a problem with budgeting for it either, because understandably, HPC doesn't have a large budget.
We can't cover the
So-
cost of one sign with our budget, so, yeah,
Okay.
okay, thank you.
All right, any other new business? Moving on to miscellaneous and discussions and approvals. Does anybody have any? I have 3 things, but sorry, it'll be quick. Anybody else? Okay. 3 things real quick. Jamie, not to steal your thunder, but we were talking about it. The fire department open house was a success, only because I was there. So, and a lot of people. Chief Fagan was there also, so the title you're wearing for that. It was great. We had a lot of people. It was really great. Well received. Number 2, there was a quick blurb online. Natterer, the Peapack And Gladstone police, an assistant made a couple of arrests with attempted car break-ins because of the fact that they have Morris County radios in their car. They heard Morris County getting crushed in parks. Blah 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 blah. They were able. Then somebody reported that their car was an attempted break-in. So the police between Far Hills and Peapack happened to be in the right place at the right time or close by. They made a couple of arrests. It's an ongoing investigation with multiple jurisdictions. Now, it's not the end of it because there's, while that was going on, Berners Township was getting crushed by another crew. So it's like if the police arrest a couple people that steal cars, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's more people following behind. But good news, great job by the police department and also the coordinating an investigation with other police departments. So great job. But still, if anybody's listening, please, hide your valuables in the car, lock your car, don't leave your keys in the car, at home, in Natterer, in the parking lot, wherever you go. So make it harder for these people to see stuff in there. And the last thing is, we've talked about this for a long time, even before I was mayor, and now that I'm mayor. People aren't familiar, where the 2 defibrillators are on the wall in the municipal building down by the admin offices and next to the police department. Next to it is another cabinet with a bleeding control kit on either end of the building. Because one of our employees injured herself opening a letter with a letter opener and severely cut herself. Nobody used the bleeding kits because nobody knew they were there or how to use them. So, and then COVID hit, so that kind of put a kibosh on training. I'd like to do a bleeding control class. It's 90 minutes. Very quick, down and dirty on this national campaign on actually international campaign on Stop the Bleed. Have all the borough employees, and of course, if council people wanted to take it, it's great just to have the knowledge, because if you're carving the turkey on Thanksgiving or whatever and you cut yourself, I mean, it could happen anywhere. You know, this was a work accident. It wasn't an act of violence, so I mean, it could happen anywhere. Playing with a chainsaw, whatever. So I'm an instructor in this class. I can get help from the fire academy. So we probably have to run a couple classes to get the employees through and council people. So I was talking to Nancy, kind of probably shoot for November, because I think October's kind of shot.
Sounds like a good thing to do.
It's very easy, but it's so everybody knows what those kits are on the wall, or if you're out in public someplace, or if you're at home, it's great, easy knowledge. So it's very easy to do. So I think we'll spread the word on that. So, okay.
I seem to remember you put those kits together for us,
Yeah,
right?
yes,
You
I
did.
did. Yes, I did.
You did.
Again, that was many years ago. So,
Not that long ago.
but they're next to, just so you know, they're next to the defibrillator. So if it, God forbid anybody needs it. And again, just a work accident, a work accident. All right, nothing else for miscellaneous discussions and approvals. Moving on to resolutions. Are we good for a consent agenda? Okay, so,
Actually, I need to abstain from 202-22, so.
okay. So
No,
resolution.
No, that's the flu shot one.
That's the flu shot one.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm sorry, 208.
Can't
That's
go
what
flu
I
shot.
meant to. Yeah.
208.
all right. So resolutions 202 through 207 and 210, excluding 208. Do I have a resolution, a motion to approve all the resolutions but 208?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Roll call. Vote.
Councilman Caminetti?
Yes.
Council President Corleano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dietrich?
Yes.
Councilman Lemma?
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Okay, resolution 208, resolution to enter an agreement with APGAR Associates for surveying services for survey of Block 6, Lot 3, Smith property. Do I have a motion to approve resolution 20822?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Councilman Caminetti?
Yes.
Council President Corleano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dietrich?
Yeah, abstain.
Yeah.
Sorry.
After all that.
Councilman Lemma?
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Okay, and I see in there we now have a deputy clerk and deputy registrar, right?
Yes, we do. She will be starting on Halloween.
Excellent. Tell her she does not have to wear a costume on her first
Yes.
day.
Actually, for initiation, tell her she does have to.
Okay, bills list, resolution 20922, approval of bills assigned and listed on the payment list. Can you just read the amount, please?
$678,313.88.
Any items that need to be pulled for discussion? Okay, motion to approve resolution 20922.
So moved.
A second.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Councilman Caminetti?
Yes.
Council President Corleano?
Yes.
Councilwoman Dietrich?
Yes.
Councilman Lemma?
Yes.
Councilwoman Murphy?
Yes.
Okay. Public comments, 3 minutes per person. Agenda items, it's the policy of Borough Council. All public comments on an issue shall be limited to 3 minutes per person. There'll be no debating between residents. Comments should be addressed to the mayor and council at the public microphone or
Oh, Tucker.
or anybody online on your device. Name and address we need. So opening up to agenda items. Nobody online, right? I didn't ask that the last time, besides our attorney who's getting off easy tonight.
No.
Okay, closing the public comment section. Is there any further business of the council? Okay, seeing none, motion to adjourn.
Oh my gosh.
So moved.
In a second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next council meeting will be October 25th at 7 PM here at the council room. I will not be here. Mark will be filling in for me. I'll be in training. Thank you very much.
25 minutes is close to a record.
And we started like 3 minutes late.
Record.